Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin with a truth so simple yet so often overlooked. You are paid in direct proportion to the value you bring to the marketplace. Money is not the cause, it is the result. It is the shadow cast by your contribution. And behind every contribution, there is a skill, a sharpened, disciplined, intentional skill that you've chosen to master. Now here's the key. The most valuable skill you can develop, if your aim is to earn more, influence more, and contribute more, is the skill of communication. Yes, communication, not merely speaking and not just writing, but the art of making yourself clearly and effectively understood, the ability to transmit your thoughts in a way that inspires action, builds trust, and opens doors that were once closed. The difference between those who merely survive and those who thrive is almost always found in their ability to express themselves. You can have the best ideas in the world, the most brilliant strategy, a heart full of passion, but if you cannot communicate them clearly, confidently, and consistently, the world will never know. A man may possess gold in his mind, but if he cannot share it, he dies with it buried. Look around you. The top earners in every field are not always the most technically skilled, but they are always the best communicators. They know how to tell the story, how to present an idea, how to listen with intent, how to lead with language. They don't just work hard, they communicate well. Why? Because communication is the bridge between value and reward. People pay for clarity, they pay for direction, they pay for confidence. And these are things delivered first and foremost through language. Whether you are a business owner, a professional, a teacher, or a tradesman, your success hinges not just on what you know, but on how well you convey it. So master the spoken word. Refine the written one. Learn to listen more than you speak. For even in silence, great communicators are learning. Read great works. Speak often. Write clearly. Practice relentlessly. And always remember, this is not a talent, it is a skill that compounds. The better you get, the more the world opens itself to you. And as you improve, your income, your impact, and your confidence will rise with you. Learn to communicate, and you will learn to lead. Learn to lead, and money will follow as surely as day follows night. This is the key skill to master, and it is available to anyone willing to do the work. Certainly. Here's an in-depth explanation of the first point. Earning more money is directly tied to the value you provide. Money at its core is a medium of exchange. It is not an object of pursuit, but a result, a consequence of rendering service that others find meaningful, useful, or necessary. Too often, people chase money as if it were something to be caught in a net, when in fact money is simply a measurement, a reflection of how well you're meeting the needs of others. In a free market system, you are rewarded not for time, but for value. Time is constant. Value is variable. Two people can work the same number of hours, yet earn vastly different incomes. The reason lies not in the quantity of time, but in the quality of contribution. What you bring to the table, how rare or needed it is, and how effectively you deliver it, these are the real determinants of financial return. The marketplace doesn't reward effort alone, it rewards results. That doesn't mean hard work is irrelevant. It means hard work must be paired with intention and impact. If you bring more skill, more insight, more creativity, or greater leadership to a role, you naturally become more valuable. And as your value rises, so does your compensation. This principle applies across all professions, whether you're a teacher, an artist, a technician, or an entrepreneur. Those who focus on increasing their value by learning, growing, improving, and solving bigger problems inevitably rise. They are not dependent on luck or connections. They are governed by a law as reliable as gravity. Provide more value, and you will be paid more, not instantly, but inevitably. All wealth begins with the mind, because everything that exists in our world today, every building, invention, business, or idea, first began as a thought. The human mind is the origin of all creation and progress. Money itself, and the ways we earn or attract it, are born from mental processes, imagination, decision-making, planning, strategy, and belief. Before a person can earn more, they must first conceive of the possibility of doing so. They must believe it is attainable and understand the path to get there. The external world reflects the inner world. If the mind is limited, cluttered with fear, doubt, or low expectations, then income and opportunity will reflect that restriction. But when the mind is expanded through learning, clarity, and focus, new pathways open up. Wealth is not simply a result of effort, it's a result of thinking differently and acting on those elevated thoughts. Most people try to change their income without changing their thinking, but true sustainable wealth creation begins by transforming mental habits, perspectives, and expectation. The ability to earn, grow, and hold on to wealth flows from the quality of thoughts one consistently holds, because those thoughts shape the choices and actions that determine financial outcomes. The most valuable skill you can develop is the ability to communicate effectively, because communication is the mechanism through which all ideas, services, and solutions are delivered to the world. It is how value is exchanged, understood, and recognized by others. You may have deep knowledge, strong abilities, or unique insights, but if you cannot express them clearly, confidently, and persuasively, they remain hidden, locked inside your mind where no one can benefit from them. Effective communication allows you to convey your thoughts in a way that others not only understand but respond to. It is the skill that transforms ideas into action, plans into partnerships, and services into sales. Every business, negotiation, collaboration, and leadership moment hinges on the ability to communicate clearly. It determines how well you can inspire a team, earn trust, explain a concept, or influence a decision. Those who master communication are often seen as leaders, not necessarily because they know more, but because they articulate better. It amplifies your presence, sharpens your thinking, and multiplies your impact. Whether you are speaking to one person or 100, writing an email, or delivering a pitch, the ability to deliver your message with clarity, precision, and resonance is what sets you apart in a noisy world. Clear communication multiplies your influence, leadership, and earning potential because it eliminates confusion and builds understanding, which are the foundations of trust and action. When you communicate clearly, people are more likely to grasp your vision, follow your direction, and believe in your message. In every environment, whether in business, teaching, sales, or management, those who can distill complex ideas into simple, relatable language become natural leaders. They become the ones others look to for guidance, clarity, and decision-making. Influence increases because clarity removes friction. People move forward more confidently when they understand exactly what is being said, expected, or offered. In terms of income, the more effectively you communicate the value of your product, service, or expertise, the more likely others are to invest in it. A well-articulated message can shift perceptions, overcome objections, and turn uncertainty into commitment. This ability to create alignment between your ideas and others' understanding directly affects your capacity to lead teams, attract clients, and grow opportunity. When communication is precise, consistent, and emotionally intelligent, it doesn't just inform, it inspires, which is the real engine behind expanded earning and influence. Those who rise to the top are those who can express ideas clearly and persuasively, because advancement in any field is not only a matter of technical ability or hard work, but of visibility, influence, and the ability to move people through words. The marketplace is full of capable individuals, yet only a small percentage stand out, and the common thread among them is often their ability to articulate their thoughts with clarity and confidence. When someone can express their ideas effectively, they gain attention, trust, and credibility. Others begin to see them as thought leaders, decision makers, and problem solvers, not because they necessarily know more, but because they communicate in a way that makes others feel understood and inspired. Persuasive communication also plays a key role in getting buy-in, whether from clients, colleagues, investors, or employers. It allows a person to frame ideas in terms of benefits, outcomes, and shared interests, which makes people more willing to support, follow, or invest in what they're offering. Opportunities often go not to the quiet expert, but to the individual who can champion ideas and communicate them in a way that stirs action and alignment. This is why communication is not just a soft skill, but a career-defining one that consistently elevates individuals to positions of greater influence and income. In every profession, the top earners are excellent communicators, regardless of the field, because communication is the common denominator that allows individuals to transfer their expertise, ideas, and value to others in a way that creates results. Whether someone is a doctor, engineer, artist, salesperson, manager, or entrepreneur, the ability to communicate well determines how effectively they can teach, lead, sell, negotiate, or collaborate. A brilliant surgeon who cannot explain a procedure may fail to gain the trust of a patient. A skilled software developer who cannot present a solution clearly may be overlooked for leadership. Across all industries, those who can articulate their thoughts with clarity and conviction are more likely to be promoted, trusted, and remembered. Communication turns invisible value into visible impact. It allows people to tell their story, defend their ideas, align with stakeholders, and influence decisions. Even in technical or solitary roles, communication is essential for career growth because it affects how well one works with others, shares progress, or conveys the importance of their contribution. As a result, income is often less about what someone knows and more about how well they can express what they know to the right audience in the right way. Great communicators inspire action, solve problems, and lead others because their words do more than convey information. They generate movement, build momentum, and create alignment. When a person communicates with clarity and intention, they help others see what is possible, understand what needs to be done, and feel motivated to take part in that vision. Inspiration is not born from facts alone, but from the emotional power behind those facts, and it's the communicator who breathes life into data, ideas, or goals by framing them in a way that connects with people's hopes, needs, or values. Effective communication also plays a critical role in problem solving because it enables people to define challenges accurately, involve the right individuals, and coordinate efforts with minimal confusion or conflict. Misunderstandings and vague direction often lead to delays and errors, while clear communication shortens the path from problem to solution. Moreover, leadership is inseparable from communication because leaders must constantly paint a picture of the future, articulate purpose, give feedback, and build trust. Without strong communication, leadership becomes a title rather than a function. Those who speak in a way that others understand and believe naturally attract followership, and in doing so, they become the ones who move teams, businesses, and ideas forward. Money is a reward for service rendered, and communication is the bridge to that service because it's through communication that we make our value known and understood by others. You might have a skill, an idea, or a service that can improve someone's life or business, but unless you can effectively convey the benefits of what you offer, that value remains invisible. The exchange of money happens when someone perceives that what you're offering meets a need or solves a problem. Communication allows you to articulate that connection between your service and the person's desire or pain point. It is through well-constructed words and actions that you demonstrate how what you do can help others and why it's worth their investment. If you can clearly explain why your product or service is the solution they've been looking for, you've effectively completed the first step toward earning their trust and ultimately their money. Whether you're offering advice, selling a product, or providing a service, the more you communicate your value in a way that resonates with your audience, the more you will be compensated. Communication, then, is not just the act of talking or writing. It is the method by which your service becomes recognized and appreciated, translating your expertise into tangible financial reward. Being brilliant but unable to express it is like having gold locked in a vault, because no matter how valuable the content of your mind is, if you cannot communicate it effectively, it remains inaccessible to others. Knowledge, expertise, and talent are powerful, but they only have value when they are shared. Think about a person who has brilliant ideas, solutions, or insights, but struggles to communicate them. They may have the potential to revolutionize an industry, create incredible art, or solve complex problems. But if they cannot convey their brilliance to others in a way that is understandable or compelling, it's as though that gold is buried untouched and unappreciated. The world doesn't reward unspoken ideas or undiscovered potential. It rewards those who can bring their brilliance to light and make it valuable in the marketplace. Being able to clearly express your thoughts and ideas is what unlocks that vault and makes the gold within accessible to others. Communication is the key that transforms latent talent into realized opportunity, turning abstract brilliance into concrete results that others can benefit from, trust in, and ultimately pay for. Without the ability to share it, brilliance remains nothing more than untapped potential, unable to make its mark or create value in the world. People don't buy products or services, they buy ideas, feelings, and stories because at a deeper level, humans are motivated by emotions, experiences, and the narratives they relate to. While a product or service may fulfill a functional need, it's the idea behind it, the emotion it evokes, and the story it tells that creates lasting value. When you purchase something, you're not just acquiring an item, you're buying into the concept, the promise, or the transformation that the item represents. For instance, people don't simply buy a car for its transportation, they buy the lifestyle it symbolizes, the freedom, status, or adventure that comes with owning it. Similarly, services aren't purchased just for their technical benefits. They are sought after for the feeling of convenience, security, or transformation they provide. A successful marketer, entrepreneur, leader knows that selling a product or service is never just about the features, it's about creating a narrative that people can connect with on an emotional level. This is why storytelling and emotional resonance are so powerful in communication. When you can convey your product, service, or idea in a way that taps into the deeper desires, aspirations, or challenges of your audience, you make that offering far more compelling. It moves beyond the transactional. It becomes a part of a larger story that people want to be a part of. The better you communicate, the more trust you build, and trust leads to transactions, because trust is the foundation of every successful relationship, whether personal, professional, or commercial. When people trust you, they are more likely to listen to what you have to say, consider your ideas, and act on your suggestions. Trust is built through clear, honest, and consistent communication. If you express yourself well, people can follow your logic, understand your intent, and feel assured that your actions align with your words. Without this trust, even the best ideas or products fall flat because people are hesitant to engage or invest in something they don't fully understand or believe in. On the other hand, when communication is clear and transparent, it shows reliability, confidence, and respect for the other person's perspective. This not only strengthens relationships, but also makes it easier to negotiate, collaborate, or close deals. Trust is the currency of successful transactions. It's what allows people to move forward with you, whether you're asking them to buy from you, work with you, or support your cause. Effective communication nurtures this trust, making it easier for people to say yes to you and the value you offer. The more you communicate effectively, the more trust you build, and the more transactions, whether financial, collaborative, or otherwise, follow naturally. Communication sharpens your thinking because if you can express an idea clearly, it shows you truly understand it. When you're forced to articulate a thought or concept in simple, understandable terms, you have to break it down, which often leads to a deeper understanding of the subject matter. The process of communicating requires you to structure your thoughts in a coherent, logical way, which in turn helps clarify and solidify those thoughts in your mind. This is why teaching or explaining something to others is one of the best ways to test your own knowledge. When you're unable to explain something simply, it's often a sign that you don't fully grasp it yet, and communication forces you to confront that gap in understanding. Additionally, the more you practice communicating, the more fluid and confident you become in how you think and respond, sharpening your cognitive abilities. As you improve in your ability to express complex ideas in a simple, compelling way, your thinking becomes clearer, more strategic, and more organized. This ability to refine your thoughts through communication not only makes you a better speaker, but also a more critical, efficient thinker in all aspects of life. Whether you're selling, managing, teaching, or leading, communication is the lever, because in each of these roles, your ability to connect with others and make ideas understood directly impacts your success. As a salesperson, you must convey the value of what you're offering in a way that resonates with the buyer's needs and desires. As a manager, clear communication ensures that your team understands their goals, roles, and how to execute plans efficiently. In teaching, effective communication allows you to impart knowledge in a way that students can grasp, retain, and apply. As a leader, your ability to communicate vision, provide guidance, and inspire action determines how well you can motivate others to follow your direction. In all of these roles, communication is the central tool that allows you to influence others, build relationships, and achieve outcomes. Without it, your influence is limited. You may have the best product, strategy, or leadership approach, but without the skill to convey it clearly, you will struggle to engage others, make an impact, or move people into action. Communication serves as the critical mechanism that unlocks potential, strengthens relationships, and catalyzes success across all of these activities. Written and spoken words are tools. Learn to use them with precision and grace, because words have immense power. They can inspire, motivate, persuade, clarify, and connect people. The way you use words, whether in writing or speaking, determines how effectively you convey your ideas and how people respond to them. Precision in language means that you are able to express yourself clearly and without ambiguity, so others can easily understand your intentions, values, and messages. When you communicate with precision, You eliminate confusion and ensure that your ideas are received exactly as you intend. Grace in communication adds an emotional layer, allowing you to connect with people not just intellectually but also emotionally. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Graceful communication is respectful, empathetic, and considerate of the listener's perspective, creating a positive and engaging environment for the exchange of ideas. Mastering both precision and grace in your communication enables you to convey your thoughts with impact and authenticity. It also makes you more adaptable in different situations, whether you're writing an email, giving a presentation, or engaging in casual conversation. The more skilled you become at using words as tools, the more effective you'll be at building relationships, influencing others, and ultimately creating opportunities for yourself. The ability to communicate well enables you to capture the attention and interest of others, which is crucial when you are trying to convey a message, sell a product, or lead a team. Attention is a precious resource in today's fast-paced world, where people are constantly bombarded with information and distractions. If you cannot grab someone's attention, you cannot make an impact. Great communicators understand how to hook their audience from the start, whether by telling a compelling story, posing an interesting question, or presenting an idea in a way that sparks curiosity. Once you have their attention, you can begin to engage them on a deeper level, guiding them through your message in a way that feels natural and resonates with their interests, needs, or emotions. People are more likely to remember and act on what they are engaged with. Communication is not just about speaking or writing. It's about ensuring your audience is focused on what you're saying and that they feel emotionally connected to it. Whether you're delivering a speech, writing an email, or making a sales pitch, your ability to maintain and direct attention is what ensures your message is received, understood, and acted upon. When you communicate effectively, you build rapport, which is a fundamental aspect of forming meaningful, trusting relationships. Rapport is the emotional connection that makes people feel comfortable, understood, and valued in your presence. It is the silent bridge between two individuals that allows for smoother interactions and greater influence. People are naturally drawn to those who communicate in a way that aligns with their values, interests, and emotions. By being attentive, showing empathy, and adjusting your communication style to match the needs of others, you naturally build rapport. This connection encourages openness and cooperation. Whether you're anchoring, negotiating, or simply trying to foster a stronger personal or professional relationship, rapport creates an environment where people are more likely to listen, collaborate, and support you. Without rapport, communication can feel forced and trust is harder to establish. However, once rapport is built, doors open more easily and people are more willing to engage with your ideas, share their own, and work together toward common goals. The ability to communicate in a way that fosters rapport is one of the most effective tools for creating long-lasting, successful relationships. The ability to convey your thoughts clearly allows you to stand out from the crowd because in a world filled with noise, confusion, and distractions, the ability to communicate effectively is what makes you noticeable. People are often overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information they receive daily, and many messages get lost in the shuffle. If you can cut through that noise and present your ideas in a straightforward, engaging way, you immediately capture attention. Clear communication allows you to articulate your point of view, share your expertise, and express your value in a way that others can easily grasp and appreciate. It's not just about being heard, it's about being understood and remembered. When your communication is clear, concise, and compelling, people are more likely to seek you out for advice, collaboration, or opportunities. This ability to stand out is not only important in professional settings, whether it's during a meeting, a pitch, or a presentation, but also in personal relationships where clear communication builds trust and connection. Those who master clear communication can differentiate themselves by ensuring that their message isn't just one of many, but the one that resonates and sticks. The more you communicate, the better you understand your own thoughts and ideas, because communication requires you to organize your thinking in a way that makes sense to others. When you speak or write, you need to form coherent structures, decide on the right words, and adjust your message to be relevant and engaging. This process of articulating your ideas forces you to clarify and refine them. You may find that as you explain something, you realize aspects you hadn't fully considered or connections you hadn't made before. Every time you communicate, you have to actively engage with your own knowledge, which helps deepen your understanding. The act of communication allows you to see where your thinking is strong and where it may need further development. It helps you identify gaps in your understanding and pushes you to articulate more effectively. With each communication, whether it's a conversation, presentation, or written piece, your ability to think clearly and critically improves, and your understanding of the topic or concept becomes more refined and comprehensive. The more you communicate, the more you grow in your ability to think strategically, logically, and clearly. Every opportunity to communicate is a chance to influence others because communication is the tool through which you connect with and shape the thoughts, feelings, and actions of others. Whether you're sharing an idea, selling a product, leading a team, or simply engaging in a conversation, the way you communicate determines how much influence you have. Each interaction is a moment where you can make an impression, persuade someone, or inspire action. Even small communications such as a quick email or a brief chat can have a lasting impact on someone's thoughts or decisions. The more effectively you communicate, the more likely you are to gain the trust, buy-in, or support of others. People are influenced by those who communicate with confidence, clarity, and empathy because such communication makes them feel understood, valued, and engaged. Additionally, communication is a way to present yourself, your ideas, and your goals to others in a way that aligns with their values and needs, creating a pathway to influence. The ability to communicate well opens up opportunities to lead, negotiate, collaborate, and persuade, all of which are essential elements in creating successful, impactful relationships. Every conversation is an opportunity to shape opinions, change perceptions, and influence outcomes. Mastering the art of communication increases your earning potential because when you can communicate effectively, you can present your value to others in a way that is compelling, persuasive, and clear. Communication is the vehicle that allows you to convey your skills, expertise, and ideas to those who can benefit from them, whether it's a potential employer, client, or collaborator. When you communicate with confidence and clarity, you build trust, establish credibility, and open doors to new opportunities. In sales, leadership, or business, the ability to communicate your value is directly linked to the deals you close, the partnerships you form, and the clients you attract. Additionally, strong communication skills enable you to negotiate better terms, persuade others to see your perspective, and navigate complex situations with ease. People are more willing to invest in what you offer when they understand its worth, and they are more likely to pay for something when they can clearly see how it will benefit them. Whether you're pitching an idea, leading a team, or simply sharing your expertise, the more effectively you communicate, the greater your ability to influence outcomes and maximize your earning potential. Communication is the key that unlocks many doors, and the better you are at it, the more doors will open for you.
In conclusion, the key skill to mastering the art of earning more money lies in your ability to communicate effectively. Communication is not just about conveying words, it's about connecting, influencing, inspiring, and making your ideas clear and compelling to others. Whether you are looking to lead, sell, negotiate, or simply build relationships, communication is the bridge that transforms your knowledge and skills into tangible opportunities. As you continue to refine your communication skills, remember that every interaction is a chance to build trust, demonstrate your value, and expand your influence. The more you practice, the clearer and more confident you will become, and the more doors of opportunity will open to you.
Good luck on your journey to mastering this skill, and thank you for your time and attention. Keep speaking with clarity, listening with intent, and communicating with purpose.